Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. Licensed lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island Licensed Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Welcome to Sports Talk with RNJ. I'm Steve Risser, along here with Justin and Afrio, and the college football playoff begins on Friday. I mean, we got some really good matchups. You know, Tennessee and Ohio State, that's going to be a fun one. You got a playoff game in Happy Valley. You got Texas hosting a playoff game against a perennial power in Clemson. Even though I don't know if it should be calling them a perennial power anymore because of their lack of using the transfer portal, but they did get into the playoff win in the ACC.
Just landed wide receiver the other day.
Oh, they did.
From,
they did.
Southeast Missouri State.
Okay. Southeast Missouri State. Okay. Come on. Now they still don't use the portal, but we're going to start in South Bend. We're going to start in South Bend with the Battle of Indiana between Notre Dame and Indiana. I mean, Indiana, one of the surprises of college football. Kirk Cignetti has done a great job. He's going 11-1. I know the schedule was favorable, but going 11-1 in his first year. I mean, Curtis Rourke had Justice Ellison, Elijah Surratt all had really good years. Their defense, I mean, they were number 9 in pass defense, number 9 in pass defense. I think number 1 against the run. So this defense played really. I know the competition wasn't great. Ohio State ran the ball well on them, but they played well, really well too. And then you got Notre Dame, and we all thought, you know, in September when they lost to Northern Illinois that they were going to be in trouble, but they ended up reeling off 10 straight wins to go to 11-1 to earn a spot in the college football playoff and host a game in the college football playoff. And this is an interesting matchup. It's an interesting matchup between these two teams. But out of all the games, I think this is the one upset this week. I think it's the one upset. I think Indiana's going to go in there and win the game. I think Indiana's going to win the game because you know why? I think they're going to be able to run the football with Justice Ellison. They'll be able to run the ball. I think that they'll be able to, you know, contain Jeremiah Love in the run game. I think, you know, they might force a turnover with Riley Leonard. Let's not forget, who does Notre Dame really beat this year? What's the best team they beat? Louisville? I mean, really, come on. What's the best team Notre Dame's beaten this year? I know Indiana hasn't really beaten anyone either.
Yeah.
I know Indiana.
I'd say USC's the top 20 team, but I know the record wasn't great. But I think all the talent that they had.
But still, USC was 6-6. They really have, neither of the teams have beaten a good team. But I think the reason why I like Indiana here is I like their running game better. I think they're going to run the football better. I think the quarterback will make less mistakes, and they have a receiving threat. They have a better receiving threat than Notre. I mean, Elijah Surratt's better than any receiver that Notre Dame has. He's better than any receiver Notre Dame has. So I'm going with Indiana here. I am going with Indiana to pull the upset. I'm going with them to pull the upset. I got Indiana 24-20 over Notre Dame. But Justin, can Notre Dame win their 11th straight and get to the quarterfinals?
I do have the Irish. I'm surprised. Wow, you went bold there. I see your points. Yeah, Jeremiah Love. I know he was banged up in the USC game, but he's healthy. He should be good to go. We might get some snow in this game too here. Make it even more fun. A football game, and Notre Dame's first home game on a Friday is 1900 too. So, IU kind of little brother of the state. You know, I know they haven't played since 1991, but Notre Dame kind of, the big team in that state. Obviously, both these teams, schedules were not great this year. My concern with Indiana is I just go back to that Ohio State and Michigan game where they really could not get much going offensively. I thought their defense played solid. I thought the Ohio State game, it just kind of got away from them, and Ryan Day kind of ran it up on them too later late. But I do think Riley Leonard plays well enough in this game. I do think he makes some plays, and I do wonder, can IU protect Curtis Rourke enough? Because I thought Ohio State and Michigan did get pretty good pressure on him in those two games, and Notre Dame could get after you here in this one. And this Irish team's played really, really well. Since that Northern Illinois loss, and they've really bounced back from that. And I just think Notre Dame's got a little bit. They got more talent, I think, than Indiana in this one. I do have the Irish winning 27-20.
Notre Dame is not as good. Is not that good against the run. Though. I checked the run defense; they're not as good, and they have Morrison out as well. So I'm telling you, Indiana, yeah, they've played an easy schedule, but they're better than you think. I think they're better than you think, and I think they go in there. I think they go in there and pull the upset. I really do. I think Kirk Cignetti's done a great job. I think there's going to be one upset this week. I think this is going to be it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at the upset. I could see the other one being Ohio State, Tennessee. If Ohio State doesn't take, I know we'll get to that one. Rourke's played really well. Curtis Cignetti is going to have that team ready, going in there and believing that they can win this football game. I just go back to that Michigan Ohio State game. I'm just a little concerned of those two outcomes in this one. Where Notre Dame could maybe overwhelm them a little bit. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Indiana could pull it off. But I think Notre Dame learned their lesson for the Northern Illinois game about not taking teams lightly. I think it being at home, we'll see what the crowds are like because it is right before Christmas. There's no students on campus, so it'll be interesting. How the especially Notre Dame because they have such a national. They have so many people that come out of state.
Like Penn State, I think the other three are all state schools, so they're going to have huge crowds.
Yeah,
and they're playoff games too.
Yeah, they are. So I do think we should see some pretty good crowds, but I just think Notre Dame is just a little bit better than IU. I do think they make enough plays. I do think Notre Dame defense plays pretty well and just does enough in this one to knock off the Hoosiers.
Yeah, we'll see. Should be an interesting game in South Bend on Friday night. Well, we'll move on to the first game on Saturday, and that's between SMU, the team that just got into the college football playoff, as they take on Penn State. And I think this is going to be a game where I think SMU stays in it early. I think they stay in it early, but I think Penn State eventually takes over. And I think there's going to be two things that happen in this game that why I think Penn State, my Nittany Lions win by double digits. Number one, I don't think SMU is going to be able to cover Tyler Warren. They do a good job against the run, but I think they'll contain Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, but I don't think they're covering Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren won the Mackey Award for a reason. He's the top tight end in the country. He's going to continue to have. He's going to have a really big game. He's going to go for over 100 yards. They're not going to be able to cover Kyler Warren. That's my number one reason. And number two, I think Penn State's defense with guys like Abdul Carter, Caleb King, Tony Rojas, they're going to be able to contain Brashard Smith. That's the key to the game for Penn State. If they're able to contain Brashard Smith, I don't think Jennings is going to have a big passing day against him. And really, SMU doesn't have great receivers. If they're able to contain Brashard Smith, I think Penn State, if Brashard Smith rushes for under 100 yards, Penn State wins the game. So I think if they're able to contain Brashard Smith on the ground on a cold day like this, Penn State wins the game. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Penn State's going to win it. I think they win it by double digits. I think they get to the quarter. They have a very easy path to the semis playing SMU and Boise State. I think they get to the quarterfinals. I got Penn State winning this. I got them winning it by 10. I got Penn State winning this 27-17 over SMU. But Justin, does SMU make the committee look smart and win a playoff game?
I think they keep this thing close for a while, but I got the Penn State win this one 34-24. SMU's got very explosive offense. I don't think Penn State's seeing a quarterback like Kevin Jennings where he's such a big threat with his legs, where if they do get pressure on him, they get too far outfield, he could take off and make some chunk plays with his legs. But on the other side, I don't, I know you mentioned SMU's been really good against the run this year, and they have. I don't think they've seen a rushing attack like Penn State's going to throw at them as well. So those are kind of two interesting matchups in this one. But I do think Alex going to play I think he's going to play well in this one. He looked great against the Oregon game. Penn State finally kind of figured out the running game against the Ducks, and we're able to kind of keep up in that one. And I do think Penn State, as long as they take care of the football in this one, as long as they don't really beat themselves, I do think they're going to be able to knock off SMU here. I SMU, that first half, that Clemson game, I think they were a little bit nervous knowing that they lost, especially, if it wasn't close, that they were going to be out. And I think in the second half, they finally just kind of played out, were more relaxed and they kind of figured some things out and got back to that game. And so I do think SMU is going to come in here, play pretty well, but I just think Penn State's got a little bit more talent in this one. But hey, if SMU can kind of connect some big plays, Penn State could be in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, but I think those big players are going to be limited. I haven't seen a ton of Kevin Jennings, but I don't trust him in an environment like Happy Valley. I don't. SMU has really never. They don't in the ACC. They don't play in these kind of environments. Because but I know there's some good environments. There's Death Valley and Clemson. There's Florida State when they're good, but they really, this is going to be by far their toughest environment they've played in all year. It's going to be a white. I know it's a new. The one thing that does help SMU is it's a noon game, because if it was 3:30 or if it was a night game, forget it. That would be a major home field advantage for Penn State. But it is a noon game, so that might help them a little bit. But still, I just don't think they haven't played in an environment like this all year. Penn State is an 8.5-point favorite. And then I think they win. I think they win it by double digits. I think they have, as I said, I think Penn State has a nice, easy path to the semifinals, because I think they beat Boise State too.
Yeah, they should, and it's set up right now for James Franklin to go on a run, and this Penn State team to go on a run. I wonder. I don't think it'll matter this week. It might not matter against Boise State next week, but losing your backup quarterback, who they do have packages for, if that could hurt down the line.
That could hurt. I think that could hurt if they play like a Georgia or they get to the national title against Oregon. I think it could hurt there. I don't think it's going to hurt in these first two playoff games, because they're just clearly They're clearly better than SMU and Boise State.
Yeah, they are, and Genty's going to be a tough Texas. Again, that Boise team did almost go to the zoo and knock off Oregon, so they could provide a challenge there for the Nittany Lions, absolutely. But yeah, it's kind of set up here for James Franklin and this team to go on a run, which would be huge to get a lot of pressure off of them if this team can kind of get to semifinal, maybe even a national championship game, especially if Carson Beck's not 100%. It's that's maybe you get Notre Dame in that game. So Penn State. It's especially the way Al looked too. I think you got to feel good about where he's at, and now he's going to come back next year. So yeah, I really like the way that Penn State offense looked against the Ducks on the Big Ten championship game.
I did too. I mean, that was great. They were this. Al didn't get it done at the end, but they were this close. They were this close to winning that game. So, yeah, there is pressure on Franklin, though. There is pressure on Franklin. If he loses this, I think he comes back regardless to Coach Aller that last year. But if he loses this, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now his buyout's close to $80 million. I don't think Penn State's got that money to eat it. I don't know what it would be next year. So yeah, if they lose, the next year it's a huge year that he's got to go like 11-1. I don't know what their schedule is like next year. They have to play Michigan again, or Ohio. I would assume they play Ohio State again. So yeah, I think next year he might have to win like the Big Ten next year to kind of get a lot of heat off him. So yeah, it's a big one for Franklin, and this team's got a lot kind of from him right now. So yeah, it's a game that they should take care of business here Saturday.
They definitely should. They definitely should. So we got the ACC champions heading to Texas to face the Texas Longhorns. And I think out of all the games, this is the biggest blowout of the week. I know, Dabo, with the history and everything. But again, he doesn't use the transfer portal, and it hurt him in a game against Georgia. He has 3 losses this year. He lost to Louisville. He's lost to South Carolina. I think Clemson is a good team, but this is not one of Clemson's better teams. I like Kubnik and I like Mafe, but I think the biggest thing that's going to happen in this game is that I think Texas contains Mafe. I think they're able to run the ball with Wisner and Blue. I think Ewers throws a couple touchdown passes. I think Cade Kublik makes a mistake, and I know Dabo's the better coach, but Texas definitely has the more talented team. I'm going with Texas here. I'm going with Texas 31-16, but we all know Dabo's had a ton of success in the college football playoff. He's been to 4 national title games. He's won 2 national titles. Does he continue this success and upset Texas on Saturday afternoon?
I have Texas 20-21. Yeah, I'm having a tough time with this one because I don't think Texas is that good either. I know Clemson isn't great, but I don't like Quinn Ewers. I don't know if his collarbone's totally, was totally healed right, because he doesn't have the same zip on the football he has the last couple of years, before he hurt that collarbone. Isaiah Bond, Sark made it sound like he's doing everything he can to play in this game. So that'd be a big loss for the Longhorns. And Cade Klubnik, this is a homecoming game. He's from Austin, Texas. He played Quinn Ewers in the 2020 high school state football final. So, I expect Cade Klubnik to play pretty well in this one. Yeah, I don't know how great Clemson is either because we've seen him step up competition. They've struggled, but I think the big thing for this one for these two teams is what team punches it in the end zone and the red zone because both teams settle for a lot of field goals at times. So whoever could score more touchdowns in this one, who could have better success in the red zone is probably going to win this football game. But I think Clemson can keep this close. I don't think Texas is that great of a football team either.
Yeah, their schedule was definitely favorable for an SEC team. Their schedule was definitely favorable, and they lost guys last year. They lost Brooks, they lost Xavier Worthy, they lost guys last year, and so they lost weapons on offense though. But Quinn Ewers is still one of the top quarterbacks in the country. I think he's better than Cade Klubnik. I just think that Texas is just these ACC teams. None of them are that good. I mean, they're good. I mean, Clemson's a good team. SMU's a good team, but I don't think they measure up to the SEC or the Big Ten, the top teams in those conferences. That's why I think Texas wins this by 2 scores.
Yeah. They've kind of struggled when they've had to go up against these guys, and that's the thing. The SEC, you look at the Texas, the Alabamas, the LSU's. They get a lot of those 5-star kids that. Like Clemson, I don't even think had a top 25 recruiting class this year. I don't think they did.
That's why Dabo has got to use the portal.
I think he's starting. I think he is this offseason. We'll see. He hasn't spoken yet. This week, so we'll find out if he's got some Starkey comment about landing a guy here in the portal. It's his first one that's not a former Clemson player, so we'll see. And it's even on the hardwood. I think the SEC this year against ACC in basketball is like 30-4 or something like that. Like it's
I know. They dominated the ACC in the SEC SEC ACC challenge. They dominated the ACC.
Yeah, they have. So the ACC's got a lot of work to do with football and basketball right now to get kind of up there because man, it's not great in either sport right now to have having those top level teams right now in either sport. So there's a lot of work to do, but so we'll see. I do think Texas defense is better than it was last year, but I do think their offense was better last year than it was this year. So that's the thing too. Like I could see Cape struggling, but Texas takes care of business here.
Yeah, I think Texas wins, and they move on to the quarterfinals to face Arizona State. So we got the final quarterfinal game that Saturday night at the Horseshoe. We got Tennessee facing Ohio State. You got 2 really good defenses going at it. I think Tennessee has the slight edge at the quarterback position, but Ohio State definitely has the better team. I think Ohio State has the better defense. I think both defenses are really good, but I think Ohio State's defense is a little bit better. So I think they do a good job with Dylan Sampson. I think they force a couple turnovers from Nico. I do think that Howard struggles as well, but I think the run game and the defense and the home field advantage is going to be, and the better roster is what's going to help Ohio State here. And I got Ohio State winning this one. I got Ohio State winning this game 21-13 over Tennessee. But Justin, can Tennessee pull the upset, and can Tennessee hand Ohio State their second straight loss to the Horseshoe and end their season?
If they want to, they got to get Dylan Sampson. He's got to have a huge day. And I expect Ohio State to stack the box and try Nico to let him beat him because even when they've had guys open, Tennessee wide receivers have had problems catching the football. They've had a lot of drops on the year as well. So so we'll see. And so we'll see how Tennessee does there. They they can make some plays and help out Nico in a tough environment here. One of the things too is when Tennessee played at Georgia, about a month ago, it was like 55 degrees, and I guess their heaters were not working. The Tennessee players were not very happy. That's 55. Now you're going up to Ohio State where it could be 30, 20 degrees on Saturday night. So I know it probably gets pretty cold in Tennessee, but that was alarming when I saw that after the game. That was kind of bothering them. But I think for Ohio State, they have to get off to a good start because that crowd will turn on you if Tennessee goes down the field, goes up 7-0 early on.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. After the awful loss against Michigan. Oh
yeah. So it's big, and the Ryan Day and Chip Kelly finally learned their lesson that you have you have Jeremiah Smith, you have some of the best wide receivers in the country. Go get them the football, and because I wasn't here with the Michigan. Do you remember when Harbaugh kind of, said that they weren't a tough football team a couple years ago, Ohio State, and
Yep. Yep.
that's in his head. He's just
Yep.
trying to convince everybody that they're tough, that he's tough, that this is a tough football team, and it's causing him games. So I would like to think that he's learned his lesson, but I don't know. I really don't. And where's his team's head at too for the Buckeyes? Like, I know you can still compete for a championship, but that Michigan loss, man, that's 4 straight for him. That plays on a lot of, I don't know where Ohio State's head at. I think they pull it out because they win, but I wouldn't be shocked Tennessee comes in here and beats them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. I definitely wouldn't be shocked if Tennessee wins. I wouldn't be. And the big question is about Ryan Day, because Tennessee's a talented team. Even though it's going to be colder than it's going to be probably one of their toughest. It's their toughest game of the season. They're still a talented team with a really good running back in Dylan Sampson. But I think we're looking at Ohio State. I think the big question is Ryan Day. If he loses this game, is it over? I think it is. Even though despite what the athletic director said, I think it is, because there's going to be so much pressure to get rid of him if he loses this.
I think it is. The only thing I worry about is I've heard his buyout and all the assistant coaches you have to buy out, it's close to $100 million. That would be tough to get that much money for a buyout. And then you probably got to buy out the next head coach and his whole staff. So that's the one thing. But Ross Bjork was a former A&M AD who did fire Jimbo Fisher. So he's not afraid to pull the trigger when he has to. So if they lose, I would think they have to. I just think you have to restart because this team's too talented to lose in the first round. They have the most talent. I know they've had injuries up front this year, but they have the most talent. And losing 4 straight to Michigan, I just think is tough. And they've always had Ohio head coaches. And obviously Day's a New England guy, and I don't know if that's been something. So I would think if they lose, I think you got to just kind of suck it up and let them go.
Yeah, I think you definitely have to move on. It's 4 straight losses to Michigan, 4 straight losses, and then the first year that cost them getting into the college. First year that in 2021 it cost them getting into the playoff. In 2022 they ended up getting it. They did end up getting into the playoff. Anyway, but still it cost them a Big Ten title. In 2023 it cost them getting into the playoff, and this year it cost them getting. It could have potentially cost them getting a bye in the first round. So yeah, 0-4 against Michigan. If they lose this one with the talent they have, he's got to be gone.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it is crazy to look at 2 years ago. If they make that kick at the end of regulation against Georgia,
they win the national title.
He wins the national championship. And things are a lot different. So goes to show you how, the game of inches in this sport. And it's disappointing, be disappointing for Ohio State to go out like this. And it would be time to move on. Be a lot of money to give up there, but you have to do it. I heard there was something too that came out this morning that Ohio State's top target would be Mike Vrabel. Obviously, he did play at Ohio State. I don't know if he's interested in going to college, but they could pay him whatever he wanted. So there is that.
We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens with Vrabel. We all know he'll be getting a job somewhere this year. But we got to talk about something that was really surprising. And we got off the air last Wednesday. We thought maybe there's a chance he goes. Maybe it's 50-50 he goes or stays. But as the day went on Wednesday, the momentum kept building. And then he eventually ended up accepting the job at North Carolina. That's Bill Belichick. Pretty stunning. We thought 2 weeks ago, we thought about 2 weeks ago we did this interview. We thought, he's just doing the interview. He's probably going to get back into the league. And now, I think if he has a big year at North Carolina, I think he is going to get back into the league. I do. But my first thoughts of this is I think he was desperate to get a coaching job. I think last year the NFL had 7-8 openings. Only one team interviewed him. This year I think he started to get afraid because he didn't see really interest from teams like the Bears and even in Dallas. They looked like they were going to stick with McCarthy. He was so desperate. He called the Jets. About their coaching position. That's crazy. After he just bashed them for 2 decades, he called the Jets about their coaching position. So I think this was a desperate move. Let me tell you, I do not think this is the place where Bill Belichick was wanted to go after he got fired from New England. I don't think this is the place. This was his dream. Definitely don't think this is his dream job. But he loves to coach, and he's going to be coaching a football team in 2025. And surprisingly, it's going to be a mediocre team like the North Carolina Tar Heels.
It's crazy to think a year ago that he'd be coaching down here in North Carolina. still crazy to think about that he is there and he's bringing all his old buddies back. Lombardi's coming in to be the
Lombardi
GM.
to be the GM. Oh, that's his
Yeah.
guy. Lombardi's his guy. We know
Yep.
that.
Yep. And I would assume when Washington season's over after the bowl game, he's going to bring it in. Yeah.
What about
Yeah,
Patricia? Probably goes. I bet Patricia.
Probably.
All these, even McDaniels, maybe McDaniels. Yeah, all these old Belichick assistants that failed as head coaches that are out of work. They'll all go coach with him. All head down there and coach with him.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, they've already retained 4 guys who entered the portal. They've already got 2 guys so far in the portal. I know they got a top 150 quarterback coming in next year. So we'll see. Again, the ACC is not great. We talked about it. He can go coach anybody in that conference too.
Oh yeah, no, I think there's a chance he can go 9-2 and 10-1 and get to the playoff and potentially win that conference and get to the playoff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, and his buyout on June 1st, 2025, his buyout decreases from 10 million to 1 million. So yeah, if he has a big year and he makes the playoffs and an NFL team comes calling,
he's going. He wants record. He's going. This is not long term. He says he's here to stay. That's nonsense. This is not long term. He goes 11-1, 10-2, and makes the playoff. Has a great year. An NFL team comes calling. He's going there. He's going there because he says it's not about Shul's record. Come on, it's about Shul's record. That's why he can't stand Bob Kraft for firing him. He wanted to break Shul's record in New England. So it's not about Shul's record. He's going to be gone if an NFL team calls him next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He will be, and I think he wants to show the NFL he still got it. He can still do it, and So I know they're playing UConn in a couple weeks, but in 2026, they're North Carolina slated to come to Rent. So
wow. So Belichick somehow he'll be coaching at Rensselaer Field.
He could be, and then the week after, I think Lane Kiffin's still supposed to come with Ole Miss if he's still there. So
back to back
Rent. Yeah, he'll probably. I assume Ole Miss
buy that. He'll probably be gone. I bet Belichick's going to be gone by that time too. Even though because he'll have a good year. Look at that schedule. I think he'll outcoach people. Who go 10-1, 9-2, and go both to the NFL.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening, and if that happens, we'll see what North Carolina does. But again, it's crazy to think that this team hasn't won since conference since 1980, and they've kind of had their opportunities. They, I know, got Matt Adam there, to a AC title, but I think it could pan out because it sounds like Michael Jordan's going to be putting in some NIL money into this. So, sounds like they're going to have a nice NIL pocket now. So, we'll see. But again, it's another national fan base. So we'll see if they show up. It's a basketball school, but they're good at everything. They're good at soccer. Their baseball team's always in it. Like hosted super regionals. So I think their women's soccer team just won their 24th title. So they're good at everything. So we'll see if they can elevate that and become a good football school or a great one. They take that next up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, and we'll see what Belichick does with them. But it's a little sad for him though. It's a little sad that this is the only job that was out there for him. It's a little bit sad that he really and since he got fired last year, it's going to take him at least 2 years to get back into the NFL. I think it's a little bit sad for him.
Yeah, because you think about it, all the coaches have been hired. What coaches have done a good job this year of improving a team from last year that just got hired?
Dan Quinn has. Dan Quinn's done a good job.
Dan Quinn.
Mike McDonald's not done a bad job, and he's done a decent job in Seattle.
Right. Yeah, that's it. 2 of the 8?
Yeah, but I mean, Dave Canales. You look at Dave Canales in Carolina. He had no
chance.
They're
getting better.
There's some coaches that had Antonio Pierce definitely has, and that's an example.
Yeah.
That's a good example. Antonio Pierce definitely has it. Brian Callahan definitely hasn't. So there have been some. I think half of them have actually done a decent job. You look at Dan Quinn in Washington. I mean, he's done a really good job. He's done a really good job in year 1. Yes, but definitely the place where he was going to go, Atlanta, it's looking like that's a disaster after seeing that. He could have had that job.
Yeah, he could have, and we obviously know what happened there, and that's kind of why the Atlanta Falcons, they've kind of just they we just talked about them last show, so it is kind of sad, but I think he's gonna probably get one more crack here at the NFL level, but we'll see. Now I know he said his dad coached there way back when his first worked for Pete Duke, which is kind of funny, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Should be interesting to see what happens with Belichick at North Carolina. But the NBA Cup, the second NBA Cup was last night. But before we talk about that, we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
All righty, so last night was the NBA Cup, and the Bucks knocked off the Thunder 97-71, and the big question is about both these teams, and we'll start with the winner. We'll start with the winner with the Bucks. Are the Bucks right now winning 10 of their last 12? They started 4-9, now they're 14-11. I mean, they've won. I mean, last night doesn't count because it was the final. They don't count the final of the standing, so they've really won 11 of their last 13. But the big question for the Bucks right now is, are they? You got teams in the East like the Cavs, who are still ahead of the Celtics. You got the Cavs. You got the Knicks. You got those teams. But are the Bucks right now the team that could challenge the Celtics, the biggest threat to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference? And I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes because we really didn't see Dame and Giannis in the playoffs last year. We really didn't because Giannis got hurt. Giannis didn't play against the Pacers last year. So we really didn't see Dame and Giannis together in the playoffs last year. So I'm going to say yes. And this is a big if Giannis can stay healthy, I think they are, because no other team can say that if they match up with the Celtics that they have the best player in the series. The Knicks, they can't say that with Jalen Brunson. The Cavs, they can't say that with Donovan Mitchell. The Bucks can say that with Giannis, and he has won a championship. Giannis has won a championship too, and scored 50 points in Game 6. So if Giannis stays healthy, I think it's yes. I think even though there's some guys who are washed up like Brook Lopez, Middleton's not the same. If the Bucks are healthy because of their star power with Dame and Giannis, I would say yes. I think they are the favorite to challenge the Celtics in the Eastern Conference.
I'm going to still say no. I'd still take the Cavs and the Knicks.
You're still going with those Cavaliers?
Yeah, I don't trust Doc still. I know they've been a lot better since they've kind of, slowed down the tempo, and it's really helped their defense out. And Doc's kind of figured out how to use Andre Jackson. It only took him over a year to kind of figure out how to use him properly. But yeah, I think it's the injury concern. Like Middleton's been banged up. I think it's so big if Giannis, if he's healthy in April. I really like the way the Cavs are playing this year. I think the Knicks are starting to play a little better as well. So I don't know. I know the Bucks have been a nice run lately. I don't know. I'm not totally bought in on them yet. And I know Giannis is still one of the best players in the league. I don't know. Still not there yet. Because a lot of those teams too that they played aren't great. That they beat the Bulls. I guess they beat the Pacers. They beat the Pistons and Raptors in that time. Like I don't know. I know it's a nice one beat the Thunder, of course, but I don't know. I'm totally not bought in still on the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. But I just think with their star power. I think their star power is the big difference. I know they got off to a terrible start, but I think their star power is the difference with that team. I think the star power is just really good. And beyond, let's not forget. I know it was 4 years ago, but Giannis has won. I know it's like 3 coaches ago too. But Giannis has won a championship. He's won a Finals MVP. So, and he's a top 3 player in the game behind Luka and Jokic. He's a top 3 player in the game. And if they face the Celtics, they would have the best player in the series. So, and I know that's what happened last year with the Mavs. But Lillard? I think I would take Lillard over Kyrie. So I think they are. I just think they are. I know Cleveland's had a really good start. I know the Knicks are a good team, even though their chemistry is a little bit shaky when they made that trade in September. But I think it's the Bucks. I'm just going Bucks.
Yeah, I can see they have the talent to do it. Obviously, I just back in the playoffs, his teams always find a way to blow it in a big spot in a big moment, and kind of have to hold back on that because I love Kenny Atkinson as a coach. We've talked about him when he was at Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know how big of a mistake that was, and you know, like I think I really think Cleveland is a legit. I don't think they'll beat Boston, but I think they're legit to I think they could give them a couple games. I didn't like the Knicks trade bringing in Karl-Anthony Towns, but it seems like they're figuring some things out. If they can get another piece or two coming off the bench from more depth, I like them. So yeah, I think the Bucks would do it. I just the way things happened last year, the way it started out this year, I'm still just a little hesitant. They have the talent. You know, Middleton's hurt again. Like I don't think I could. Like what are you going to get out of him? I know he hasn't had a great year because he's a lot older, but look, I guess with Giannis could carry you. You know, him and Damian Lillard could carry you in the series, and it is definitely possible. But I kind of just like the way still Cleveland's kind of playing, and I still think they're a little better.
Now, moving on to the team that lost last night, that's the Thunder. Now, they got the top seed in the Western Conference, and I know they've had Chet Holmgren out, but they're probably going to get him back for the playoffs. Would you say the Thunder are the favorite to win the championship? I am going to say no. I still will say the Celtics. I'll still say the Celtics because of when you got KP and Drew Holiday and Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I just don't think, and Derek White, they're the best starting 5 in basketball, and I think they're going to win. They're going to win it for the second year in a row. So I will say no, but I do think if they get in the finals, they'll give the Celtics a better series than the Mavs did last year.
Yeah, I really like this this Thunder team. I think when either Chet Holmgren or Hartenstein are playing, they're like 18-2 on the year. SGA's played really well this year. I think this Thunder team has so much talent. I think they have depth. Jalen Williams at the 4 spot's been awesome for them. I do think the Thunder are the best team in the Western Conference. I still have to take Boston over them. Just because they don't. I still think Boston's just a little bit better than them, but I do really love the Thunder team. If they're healthy in April in the playoffs, they're gonna have to go through a gauntlet too. Coming out of that Western Conference with how many good teams there are, where Boston not going to be as challenged as much as them. So I put the Thunder like second right now behind Boston in power rankings.
That leads me to my next question. Should they be the favorite to win the West? I had Denver earlier at the beginning of the season, but I'm going to change it. I think Denver is not as good as I thought they'd be. Jamal Murray has definitely not played as well as I thought he would. And the second best team is Memphis. Really, to me, the second best team is Memphis. And I just don't. If you're telling me I'm going to take John Morant or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a big game, I'm going to take SGA. Dallas, to me, I don't think they have enough outside of Luka and Kyrie, and I think the Thunder have the experience of playing them in the playoffs. Losing to them last year, I think they'll grow from that. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say the Thunder are the favorite to come out of the Western Conference.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they should be the favorite right now. I know there's a lot of good teams. Houston and the Grizzlies have been playing well this year, and the Mavericks are right there as well. And obviously you have Jokic in Denver, but yeah, I think the Thunder, if healthy, I think they have the best talent in the Western Conference, just kind of top to bottom. They have that. They have some guys that come off the bench to score basketball as well. So I love their defense as well too. So yeah, I think the Thunder should be the favorite get out of the Western Conference.
I agree. Yeah, I think so. I think they should definitely be the favorite. And one last one, because the two top players matched up last night, SGA and Giannis. The question is which one has a better chance to win MVP? I'm going to say SGA, just because the Thunder are going to be on top. They're going to be one of the top. I think they're going to stay on top of the West all year. I know I picked the Bucks to be the second biggest threat to the Celtics, but you never know with the Bucks. I know for sure the Thunder are going to stay on top of the Western Conference all season long. So I'm going to say SGA.
Yeah, I think SCJ as well. Because these guys like to give it to somebody different. SCJ, Giannis has won a couple. So I wouldn't be shocked, especially if the Thunder do end up with a 1 seed in the Western Conference and a really good Western Conference that's really competitive. I do think SGA should win it. Just because the Bucks, yeah, maybe they get up to the 2 seed, but they're probably gonna be a 3-4 seed. So I would think too, with the Thunder winning it, winning the West in the regular season too, would definitely give SGA the boost.
Yeah, so it should be interesting in the MVP race. The Thunder and the Bucks. Maybe we see this matchup again in the NBA Finals. Who knows? But it looks like it's gonna be very hard for the Bucks to beat It's gonna be hard for both these teams to beat the Celtics. But they both had a really good run in the NBA Cup. Now we'll wrap up the show talking about the Yankees, and they've been busy, man. They've been busy. Yesterday they traded for Cody Bellinger. They didn't have to give up much for him. Last week they traded for Devin Williams, so they've been busy. I think some of the moves they made with Fried, Williams, and Bellinger definitely puts them in position to be the best team in the AL East and the best team in the American League again.
Yeah. I don't. The last minute or so, your mic's making you sound all static right now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, really? Okay. Let me just log out.
Okay. Yeah. The VFC back, but yeah, I really like the Cody Bellinger move here. I know yesterday, I think Bob Nagdale reported he's going to play center. Boone said that was fake news. And he's going to play probably the corner outfield spots and probably some first base. So we'll see what he does there. We'll see. But yeah, I really liked it. You don't have to give up Cody Petit. He's like a 29-year-old reliever. Guess he could give, be an opener as well. And, so I think it's worth eating that contract. He's another lefty bat. So I do really like what Brian Cashman and this front office has done here since not being able to sign Juan Soto long term here. I do really like what they're doing right now.
Oh, you got it. I mean, do I still sound still do?
Yeah, you still sound static.
Still sound staticky. Yeah, but
yeah,
I like what they've done. I really like what he's done. I think they've made up for the loss of Juan Soto. I think they've made up for it, and they've gotten like a pitcher and a reliever and a bat. So they've really made up for the loss, and I'm excited. We'll see what they do for it. We'll see if they get an Alex. We'll see if they go out and get Bregman, move Chad to second, or they go out and Christian Walker. But they have been aggressive. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what they needed to do. They've been aggressive. And yeah, we'll see. They definitely, I think, need one more bat, probably first base. We'll see. I would love to have Bregman 2 play at third. But yeah, I really like what they've done, and they definitely need another bat there. But yeah, the rotation's going to be one of the best in the sport. It stinks to lose Nestor, but he was going on his final year of his deal, and that 8th, 9th inning now, Luke Weaver and Devin Williams and that back end of the bullpen. That's going to be great. So. Yeah, the pitching staff's gonna be really good now. They just get like one more bat in this lineup, so it's nice to add another lefty bat too in Cody Bellinger. So yeah, this is I like what they're doing. They're not sitting in their hands here, and they've definitely been aggressive here.
They definitely have. They definitely have, and we'll see if they make any other moves going forward. But that's gonna wrap it up this week on Sports Talk with R&J. For Justin D'Onofrio, I'm Steve Risser. We will be back on Thursday. We will be back on Thursday next week because Christmas is Wednesday. We'll be back on Thursday, recapping the Christmas Day games, talking about Week 7 to the NFL season, and talking about the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. So from all of us at Sports Talk with R&J, for me and Justin, we hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, and we will talk to you next Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group. And here at CMG, we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men. And great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.